that brings us to the confrontations with Pharaoh. And what's the first showdown that Moses and Aaron have with Pharaoh? They take Moses' staff and cast it down, and it becomes a snake. It actually doesn't become just a snake. When God meets with Moses at Mount Sinai, that's the plan. He's going to throw it down and it's going to become a snake. But then it actually happens, and it becomes not a nahash, but a tanin, which is a sea serpent, which is a more mythologically significant label, and it probably is hinting of what's to come. Because what happens with the tanin? So Aaron's staff becomes a tanin, and then Pharaoh's like, oh, we can do that too. So he turns a staff into a snake. Now that's a whole ball of wax there. Like how does that happen? It seems to me that Pharaoh's magicians actually do have some limited powers. But once you get four into the signs and wonders, they've run out of power. And they're like, we can't match this anymore. So what we're seeing is the outstripping of Egyptian power. But what happens to the snakes? Moses and Aaron's snake swallows the snake or sea serpent of Pharaoh, just like Pharaoh's army will be swallowed in the sea in chapter 14. It's the same word, and I think this is maybe one reason why it's a sea serpent, so that we can see this is a warning of what's to come. This actually doesn't hurt you right now, but if you continue to oppose me, I am the one who can swallow you whole, and I won't spit you out. So one thing that's interesting to note is, this is not my photograph, by the way, because we were not allowed to take photographs in this room, but this is the coffin of King Tut. And he's standing there with a flail and a staff, like a shepherd's staff. And on his forehead, he has a snake and a vulture head. These represent Upper and Lower Egypt, and they're a symbol of, these are all symbols of his royal authority. So again, God doesn't show up at Pharaoh's temple in a Tesla with a smartphone trying to do something. Like, he's not showing up anachronistically. When he shows up, when he sends Moses and Aaron, they're talking in ways that make sense to Pharaoh. They're using his language to show, Yahweh's saying, I'm boss. You think you have royal authority. My royal authority is greater than yours. So there's a constant undermining of Pharaoh's authority.